Dave Filoni is strangling the life out of Star Wars, and I'm sick of the whole insufferable worship that this dude gets while he gatekeeps a franchise that belongs to all of us. You see, Dave Filoni, the so-called savior of Star Wars, is out here acting like he's the only one who gets what George Lucas intended. And guess what? It's definitely a nightmare for fans who just want good stories. Now, the ego of Dave Filoni is so big it could eclipse the Death Star, and his obsession with shoving his pet characters like Ahsoka Tano into every corner of the galaxy is killing what made Star Wars epic in the first place. Now, I'm done watching Dave Filoni turn this universe into his personal playground while his fans eat it up like he's basically the second coming. Now, look, Dave Filoni does have this cult following because of Clone Wars, and yeah, I'll give him that. You know, it was solid, but let's not let's not fool ourselves, okay? Dave Filoni didn't single handedly write or create that show. You see, George Lucas heavily was heavily involved in it, steering the ship, and Dave Filoni was just the guy in the room taking notes. And now he's parading around with the title of Chief Creative Officer thanks to Kathleen Kennedy, like he invented the Force. The truth, his solo projects like Ahsoka and the Book of Boba Fett are a mess, filled with lazy writing, um, filled with lazy writing, as well as the fact that it has recycled ideas, and because the guy's track record without Lucas holding his hand is shaky at best. But here's the deal: Star Wars used to feel massive with stakes that basically span systems and stories that hit you in the gut. Now, under the watch of Dave Filoni, I mean, it's basically the Ahsoka Tano show. And if you don't love her, well, too bad. You're not a real fan. And Dave Filoni's gatekeeping is blatant when he dismisses anyone who critiques his work as not getting Star Wars. I mean, that right there is not true. I don't need some animation director telling me that I'm not loyal enough because I think his original characters are overrated. Now, this particular gatekeeping is not just about fans, it's about the stories too. There's an article on thatparkplace.com that nails it. Shout out to Martin Montanero for writing this piece, and where it talks about how Dave Filoni is so obsessed with his own characters that he's boxing out fresh ideas. New pitches get destroyed if they don't fit the vision of Ahsoka saving the day or Thrawn coming out terrorizing other people. But this dude got a strong stranglehold on Lucasfilm and it's suffocating. But you can't tell me a franchise this big should revolve around one man's pet projects. Where is the room for new heroes, new villains, even new worlds? I mean, it's nowhere to be found because he's too busy retconning the expanded universe to fit his narrative. Now, as far as the expanded universe is concerned, I mean, fans act like he's the guardian of Star Wars lore, but he messes it up every chance he gets. Now, the Clone Wars retcon huge chunks of the EU with Barriss Offee's character arc, Quinlan Voss, Dathomir, all twisted to fit one vision. Sure, he cherry picks the cool bits like Thrawn, but only if they get to serve his story. Now, if you love the old books and the comics and stuff, tough luck. He's rewriting them. And if you complain about it, you're just another whiny gatekeeper yourself. I mean, that's big hypocrisy right there. Now, look, I'm not saying that he doesn't have talent. I'm not saying he's some sort of hack or anything, but this dude got a knack for animation, and Clone Wars had some good arcs, like the Siege of Mandalore, for example. But when he jumps into live action, I mean, let's be honest, it's a nightmare. His episodes of The Mandalorian are fine from seasons 1 and 2, but Ahsoka, stiff dialogue, flat pacing, and a plot that feels like Rebels rerun. Fans are starting to notice, and the backlash is growing. Posts on X are calling him out for blocking new pitches that don't center on his favorites. I mean, that's not creative leadership at all. That's gatekeeping Star Wars for yourself to protect one legacy. And he also got this insufferable, if you want to call it aura, like he's the only one who gets Star Wars, saying Anakin Skywalker never thought he was evil. Did he not watch Revenge of the Sith? I mean, Anakin literally says, "What have I done?" after betraying the Jedi. That's not a misunderstanding. That's a guy who knows he's gone dark. His take is out of touch, so out of touch that it's like he's rewriting George Lucas's movies to fit his own head canon. Now, fans on Reddit are losing their minds, and I don't blame them. You see, his takes are a slap in the face to the saga that we all love and grew up with. But what really messes me up is how Dave Filoni and his gatekeeping extends to the fandom itself. Now, if you simply just criticize his work, you're not just wrong. You're not a true fan. That's the kind of elitist nonsense that I can't stand. Now, Star Wars is not his personal property. It's a shared universe that's been around since 1977. And I don't need Dave Filoni or his approval to love Star Wars, and neither should you. Now, that Park Place article points out how he's built this, image as the Felonious King, a nickname he supposedly got from George Lucas himself. I mean, that's cute, but it's actually going to his head. You see, he's not the king of anything. He's just a guy who's good at animation but fumbles live action. And this isn't about, hating on Dave Filoni for the sake of it. Now, I want Star Wars to be great again, but his obsession with this, his own characters, is a dead end, basically. And Ahsoka's in every show, every story, and it's making the galaxy feel like a small town where she's the only hero. Now, Dave Filoni and his refusal to let her die or take a back seat is killing the stakes. The article also mentions how he even invented time travel in Rebels to save her. Time travel in Star Wars. That's kind of desperate. That's a desperate move that screams that he can't let go. Now, fans are having a meltdown over this, and it's not just the hardcore EU nerds. It's also the casual viewers who are tired of the same recycled characters too. And then there's this whole mentor thing that he taught that was mentioned with Jon Favreau. At Star Wars on Celebration 2025, Favreau called him his mentor, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Basically, Favreau's directed Iron Man and launched the MCU billion-dollar franchise. He claimed his claim to fame was a cartoon about Jedi and clones. No offense, but that's not mentorship material for Dave Filoni. But this article calls it out perfectly. Favreau's got more cinematic chops in his pinky than he's got in his whole career. Now, this mentor talk is just more of his insufferable hype train, and it's a nightmare for anyone who wants to, Star Wars to aim higher, basically. But the track record for like the live action stuff, The Mandalorian worked because Jon Favreau was there to ground it. Those episodes for seasons 1 and 2, they were decent, but nothing special. I mean, Book of Boba Fett, that was a disjointed mess that felt like two guys fighting over the script. And for Ahsoka, that's a snooze fest that only diehard Rebels fans could love. But Dave Filoni's direction was stiff, his writings expository, and he leans so hard on fan service, it's like he's pandering to a Reddit thread. Now, fans on X are saying that he's blocking bold new ideas to keep his own vision front and center. That right there is gatekeeping, plain and simple, deciding what Star Wars can and can't be. But that, and don't even talk about the acolyte. You see, his fingerprints are all over that disaster and stuff, especially with the lesbian witch coven. Okay, now he mentioned, he also mentored Leslie Headland, and how we've got a show that feels like it was written for a different franchise. Now, I'm not here to bash anyone, but Star Wars is not a place for any kind of heavy-handed, agendas. His push for this stuff, as that Park Place reported, shows that he's more interested in checking diversity boxes and stuff than telling a coherent story that's actually good. And fans are exploding online, and it's not just toxic bros, but regular people who are fed up with Star Wars feeling like a soapbox instead of just a big special space opera. But here's where the gatekeeping of Dave Filoni gets even ugly. You see, he's alienated the expanded universe fans. Now, the EU was a treasure trove of stories that featured Thrawn, Mara Jade, the Solo Kids as well. And Dave Filoni picked what he liked, twisted into in something to fit his narrative and tosses the rest. Barris Offee's arc in the Clone Wars was ruined. Quinlan Voss was turned into a surfer dude. Dathomir was completely reworked, and his fans call this honoring the EU, but it's actually a slaughter. Now, if you grew up on those books, you know how much it stings to see your favorite stories get destroyed just so that way he can prop up his own characters, okay? But the crazy part here is that, simply put, Dave Filoni has got this his reputation as George Lucas's protege, but he's not carrying Lucas's torch. You see, he's actually rewriting it. Now, Lucas had a vision of sprawling mythic universe. His vision is a cul-de-sac where Ahsoka and Thrawn are the only players. I'm talking about Filoni, of course. Now, fans on Reddit are calling him out for this, saying he's got an ego the size of a Star Destroyer. And the article from That Park Place quotes ex posts where people say that Dave Filoni is blocking new pitches to go ahead and protect his territory. Now, that's not leadership at all. That's just simply a guy who's scared of losing control. His gatekeeping is choking the life out of Star Wars, and it's time that we called it for what it is. Now, look, I'm not saying fire him tomorrow and stuff. Now, animation is his wheelhouse, and he's got talent there, but as chief creative officer, he's out of his depth. Star Wars needs someone who can let go of their pet projects and embrace the whole universe, not just their corner of it. His obsession with Ahsoka and his refusal to let new voices shine is basically a nightmare for a franchise that thrives on fresh ideas. You see, fans are fed up with this, and the backlash is growing. If you check X or Reddit, and you'll see the meltdown. You see, people want the epics. They're not these reruns of his greatest hits and stuff. So how can this be fixed? I mean, simple. Just loosen his grip. Let other writers and directors take a swing without having to bow to his vision and stuff. Now, Star Wars is bigger than one guy. No matter how many cowboy hats he wears, the article from thatparkplace.com is dead on. His gatekeeping is holding back a franchise that should be soaring. Now, I'm just someone who wants to feel that Star Wars magic again, and I know you do too. So basically, I mean, let's stop pretending that he's the chosen one and stuff, no pun intended, and demand stories that make the galaxy feel alive again. So no more meltdowns, no more gatekeeping, just Star Wars done right. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed what's shared in it. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for future notifications, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, peace.